Well, perhaps we could take a look at together here a thing called, firstly, transformation number 7. I started this some time back as something different. Actually, I started the self transformation consideration 41 years ago to see if we can bring forth internal peace for each one of us, and then, of course, collective peace on earth to end the violence, and the wars, and the killings and the maimings that we do. So perhaps we could speak about being 100%. That means, if you will, to be 100% of what you are and who you are. You could say that that is only half of it. Being 100% of what you are is only half of it, and it could be true, even though it sounds a bit oxymoronish. Morontic, I guess is the word. Because the other half is the observation of the way you're being. The only manner in which you can move your effectiveness, you move your perfection, you can start out as a perfect being. The only manner in which you can create a new perfect being for yourself is to be 100% who you are and observe it. Observe that which you are to see if your thoughts and your actions match. Are they fused? Are you a fused human being that does what they say they're going to do and does what they think? Or are you one that think, boy, I'd like to have that. I don't know, those black people are horrible. And oh yeah, I'm not racist. Or a Christian who says we got to take care of everybody, and then our president throws 3,000 children into cages, and oh, that's all right because we got to teach the. So to be 100% means, besides the observation of yourself being 100%, it means to keep your word 100%. We could take a look at keeping your word, which means to say that exactly what you say you're going to do or not do, you do or not do. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's in concrete. Hello, Cherry. But it means that what you say you're going to do, you do. And what you say you're not going to do, you don't do. That's being 100%. It also includes if something impossible happens, if you say you're going to be at a certain spot at a certain time, and somebody pulls out in front of you and you're in a wreck, or your tire blows up and something you couldn't help happens, then not keeping your word would be getting in touch immediately with those that you were supposed to meet and let them know what happened. That's keeping your word. Or if something happens where you consider that you must do something, either not to keep or keep your word, then the relaying of that to the other person would be also being 100%, so that they can always count on you. You'll either be where you say you're going to be, or they will know the exact thing that happened that caused you not to be. So I wonder if you take a look in your life, if you are in a relationship, are you 100% in that relationship with your partner? Or do you just manipulate to get what you want and hope that the relationship works out? Are you 100% honest with not only your partner, but yourself first? Obviously with yourself first. So while it is a bit difficult to describe what being 100% is, essentially it's being the truth. It's not lying, not being a robotic person who is at the whim of wherever the wind blows. Let me see what Terry said. I can't read without my glasses. Oh, okay. The sound. Now, yesterday, Jillian was telling me it was breaking up, but I think it was on her side. So these things that I speak of, speaking the truth and being 100% and self-transformation and the birth of a new human, the birth of a new consciousness, are all, you could say, extremely difficult things to talk of, to speak of, because there really isn't a language for them. Our language was invented for excuses, it has reached the point now where language is used for excuses and reasonableness and justification so that we can stay ineffective, so that we can continue to have the world that we have and make excuses why it's the way it is. Well, we go to war because of those people, or we have racism because of those people, racism because of those people. All of those things that we make excuses for the way the things are why the things stay the way they are. For instance, we don't love our children at all. We do not love our children and haven't loved our children, because if we loved our children, we would create a planet for our children. We wouldn't prepare the children for the planet. We would make sure the planet was a place for our children. Of course, that same statement applies to ourselves. If we loved ourselves, then we would prepare our planet for us to live on it. We would not prepare ourselves to live on a planet where there's killings, guns, bombs, murders, all of those things happening all around. And we just put up with it. We say, well, it has to be that we say, oh, it's those elected officials that do that. But we are the ones who elect them. So we are willing, as I said in a conversation the other day, we are willing to remain in the conspiracy of ineffectiveness. We all breathe together to keep ourselves ineffective. We do not present ourselves as people who are 100%. We don't keep our word, we lie, we go to church, we talk about gods and wait for them to come down and save us. We are a completely dominated species. And the strange thing is, we are the ones doing it. We locked ourselves in a cage, turned the key, and then hid the key from ourselves so that we could blame the other people for locking us in a cage. One of the funniest things you'll see was people are going to put chips in us, and they're going to do the. They have those clouds up there with behind the airplanes. Those are something, I don't know what they call them, and they're there to train and condition us, or to manipulate us. We're already trained and conditioned robots, and we did it ourselves. We started at about the age of 3 or 4 years of age, and we trained and conditioned ourselves to be robotic people who get mad at each other, who are jealous, who are greedy. All of the things that we see on our planet are within us, ourselves, and we put them there. They're ridiculous feelings of jealousy, of anger, of having to be right, narcissism, greed, all those things we put inside of ourselves, and then we blame somebody else for it. So to be, getting back to the self-transformation number 7 conversation, which is to be 100%. Be 100% of who you are, and then observe that person that you are. If you look down on black people and then say, I'm not a racist, then you know you're a liar. If you hold women as secondary citizens, a little dumber than you are, if you're a male, or another female perhaps, then you are a liar. You are a liar. You are lying to yourself. The greatest need we have on planet Earth is for each of us to stop lying to ourselves. When we see that almost, if not completely since the beginning of time, We have gone from war to war to war, and in between wars, get ready for war. We know that we cannot love ourselves nor our children, or we wouldn't be going around the world here in America killing people. We have 180 outposts around America, and we spend $750 billion on our war machines, on killing people. Well, that's not quite fair. A lot of that's spent on, some of that is spent on taking care of those people who go to war for us. And then we take care of their health and their well-being after that, college and healthcare, all those things. So some part of that might have a purpose. However, if we didn't go to war, we wouldn't have to take care of all the people who went to war, would we, and did the killing. So I'm suggesting here that we each consider the possibility to create creation. And within that creation, which is nothing, when you create nothing, creation, that's nothing, there's nothing there, then you might consider putting there being 100%. Just create that you will be 100% and then discover for yourself what being 100% is. It starts obviously with telling the truth. It is keeping your word. It is being the person that you say that you are. And then when you see the person that you say you are is not the person that you are presenting or think you are, then it's the transformation of that. When you see yourself being something that you say you're not, that's the perfect place for you to discover that you're not being 100%. Cherry, thanks for hanging out there. I guess you're still there. You got out of the car and you could hear. So if you consider this, then this is my request. Create for yourself that you will be a 100% person for yourself. Then watch to see. Do you lie? Do you steal? Do you cheat? Do you take your driver's license from a state, any state? Taking the driver's license is your word that you'll stop at the stop sign, that you won't speed, that you will turn right on red if it's illegal. You're giving your word that in order to assure yourself or have the driver's license, you don't go 80 in a 70 mile an hour. Though. You don't go 45 in a 35. You don't blast through stop signs. You don't pull up to somebody and shoot them because they cut you off on the expressway. In other words, when you accept the license, you give your word a little like, well, if you're silly enough to get married, it's the same thing. If you get married or if you're in a relationship with somebody, there is a non-given or at least expected word that you will stay loyal to that person, that you won't do something against the relationship, sleep with another person or whatever that might be. Or if you do, then at least own up to it. Admit it. Apologize and move on from there. So being 100% simply means to speak the truth and be 100% of who you are so that you can observe who you are. Because the person most hidden from you, I'm suggesting, is you. A perfect experience of the discovery of being 100% is sent to you. See you.